Hello everyone, today is Tuesday and I had to remind myself because I keep thinking it's Wednesday already or something, and I know it seems strange that last week was a holiday, but I'm still always trying to figure out what day of the week it is, and it sure seems like it's farther along in the week than what I'm thinking. But maybe it's because I'm super anxious for tomorrow to get here, because when Wednesday gets here, then this starts. So I'm super excited for the annual catalog to start tomorrow. And I know I've heard great things from you guys too, that your wish lists are long, and I know I always say that it's the best catalog ever, but really this one is like super fantastic. So I'm really excited about seeing what you guys enjoy, and feel free to chime in and tell me what your favorite things are from this new catalog too, because I'm always curious if what I like is what you guys like, and then it helps me to know too when I'm getting ready to prepare samples and things for these virtual parties, and that it helps me to know what you guys want to see me work with too. So hi Julie, hi Lois, thanks for joining in. So today I'm working on Dawn Earlbeck's card number 3, which is this one. So I'm working on Dawn's virtual party, last day of that today. Tomorrow, stay tuned again, because I will start Linda Sampson's virtual party right away. So I've been doing different product bundles and such with Dawn. So I had the sunflower bundle yesterday, and then the day before was the Forever Fern, and then today is the Lovely You bundle. And so what I want to do, because these parties are so close back to back, I want to do the same 3 bundles with Linda's party, just so that you can see the value of doing things or getting things and seeing how you can use them and make a wise purchase and have things that you can really expand and have more ideas with too. So hi Marie, thanks for joining in, and Shelly too. And so with that, yeah, like I said, I'll start that tomorrow, and then it'll be those next 3 days for that. So you know that you'll have more inspiration coming up to you in the afternoon. So yeah, it's been a busy day already. I made a nice rhubarb dessert, and I was gonna show you guys like, hey, here's my rhubarb dessert. And then I realized I'm not working on my virtual stamp camp cards. And so the reason I would show you my fun desserts and snacks or whatever is because usually when you come to my house for stamp camp, then you get to have some fun dessert. But with a in-home party or such, then usually the hostess is putting together her dessert. So just know that I made rhubarb dessert, and my youngest said it was really good, and there's quite a big portion gone, so it must have been good. And so then I went and worked out in the garden too before it became too incredibly hot, and it looks like it could rain now. So I'm glad that I got out there when I did, ran some errands, and then I am ready to show you how to put this card together. So like I said, I can't show you the inside of the catalog yet, but I know many of you have your catalogs. So I'm looking at page 22 if you want to follow along in your catalogs that you've received so far. So Lovely You, the stamp set looks like this, and I know it looks goofy now, I'll get it turned around and such. And then it comes with the coordinating Pick-a-Punch too. So hi Carla, hi Lisa, thanks for joining in. And I'm super excited about this. There has been so many times that I have had, I was gonna get it out too, shoot, that bigger punch where it looks just like a triangle. Hey Brett, hi Heather. And so the bigger punch had the 3 like 2-inch, 1.5, and 1 inch that you could slide in there. And so many times at my events, you guys would see me do a fun little banner cut in there, and you go, don't you have a punch that has smaller sizes for that? So this is perfect. I'm even gonna get it really close there so you can see it. Hi Gretchen, hi Donna, hi Julie. So, so this is for 1 inch, 3/4 inch, and 1/2 inch, and there's actually 2 different patterns and styles. I'm trying to get it away from my lighting. So Okay, so I'm excited about that too. So you can buy this separate, but if you buy them together, 10% savings, and that's tomorrow. And another thing, before I forget, that I want to tell you about for tomorrow, the ordering will start about, let's see, about noon Stampin' Up! Time, which is Mountain Time, so around 11 o'clock our time. So if you are that early riser that thinks, hey, I'm gonna get online and get things right away, you can just kind of let it coast for the morning and rewrite your wish list for a little bit, and hopefully around 11 o'clock things will be live and ready to go too. Hi, Alice. So that's what I want to tell you about the catalog that way. And so tomorrow also in the morning, I will, on this Facebook business page, I will put a list of all my hosts and their host codes that I have currently active, so that if you are ordering, then you'll get some cards as thank yous too, if you use their host codes and such too. So hi Jody, hi Zans. With that, then you can see like, if you're ordering a minimum order of $25 through the parties, then you get the 3 cards that I'm making during these live crafting sessions. So that's how that works. So a lot of people had questions, but let me know too if you have any more questions, if you have more questions about hosting, because if you do host in June, then I will do these crafting sessions for your party, and then you'll get the cards just like everybody else, and then you'll get another extra $25 in Stampin' Rewards above and beyond what Stampin' Up! Normally does for the hostesses, and that's just the month of June, which means we would have to close your party by the end of June too, by June 30th. So keep that in mind, and just know that tomorrow I'm going to be placing my very large order. I love so much of the stuff in the catalog, so keep in mind that when I get that, I'm gonna really want to get some more ideas together, and if I can connect your party with my ideas, craft them here, it's kind of a win-win situation, because I honestly still am laying in bed at night thinking of a lot of these new products and how I can use them and everything, and put new in colors together, new products together too. So all right, I don't want to have this get too lengthy. I want to start in on today's card, and I'm gonna get my camera flipped around for you guys so you can see it a little bit better. Hi Carol, hi Janice. I'm gonna do that. Okay, there we go. Oops. Okay, hopefully you guys can see my work area there. Can see my yellow stains from yesterday's card where I stamped out some more of the sunflower. Okay. And I'm just gonna make sure that my video is showing up there. Great, so if you guys have comments, I will be able to see it too. Okay, so once again, here's the card that I'm making today. I kind of, well, I know that I wanted to use some of the new color, this blue color here, which I can't call it just the blue color. So this is the new Misty Moonlight, and I am a huge fan of anything blue. So hi Tori, and so here it is. It's not navy by any means. It's just kind of a dusty, kind of gray tone blue. And so what's funny is I have always been drawn to blue, and so it's no surprise that I ended up with 3 boys. That's probably how that works. But when I am shopping, I always tend to find and look for clothes that are blue. And so when I see this color in the store, and it's kind of that washed out blue, I'll be like totally in love with the shirt instantly, and my husband will go, oh, don't get that, it looks washed out. But that is what I'm always drawn to. My eye always loves this kind of washed out look of this blue color. So then the gray that I chose here is a smoky slate too. Yes, Tori, I think it's a really pretty color. I think it'll coordinate well with so many of our other colors. When I was starting the card, I wanted to pair the background with something kind of, like I said, a little rustic looking and such. So I went for gray granite first, but it just had too much of an off look. It just didn't pair well together. So I thought, well, let's change that up, and I'm glad I did. So Janice, I'm glad that you are joining for the first time. Hopefully it won't be your last time. And hi Sharon, thanks for joining too. So I have just this little strip here that barely shows up in the card. on the edges, and that I am pulling from the 2020 to 2022 In Color stack. So this is 6x6 and obviously has all those new In Colors. So the cider and the pinks, the greens, and the bumblebee and the moonlight or misty moonlight. So you see that, and you'll see the writing, and a lot of people have asked, because of course it shows up so super tiny in the catalog. This is actually to share what we love and love what we do. It's a statement of the heart, of Stampin' Up! Statement of the Heart and such. And so for demonstrators, we hear this all the time. It's in the catalog, and so that's what they're putting on there in all sorts of different languages. And I'm assuming that every language that a demonstrator can be is represented there. And then on the back side, we've got some kind of like just a blotchy, fun little splotchy background. And then kind of looks like the tree or woodland there too. So a lot of nice variety. And of course I love polka dots too, so I'm glad that that's on there. All right, so then I have to take a step back and go, how did I start my card? And start there. Okay, so this base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, just like so. And this is the Smoky Slate. And so I'm going to take my Smoky Slate ink pad here, and oh, let me show you the stamp set a little bit better too. Here we go. So Lovely You, before I use the stamp that I'm going to ink up, Lovely You, and I didn't want to show it too much until I had my camera flipped around, just because everything would be transposed that way. But I love the font style of this, like Wildly Grateful. At first it's like I was thinking like wild animals, but then I'm thinking also Stampin' Up! Does have some wild animals. It would be fun paired with the new zebra stamp set, or some of those dinosaur stamps that we still have too. So that would be kind of fun. But because this is Dawn's party too, I thought she has friends from where she used to live, and I know that she likes to send them cards often and such, and so keeping her in mind as my hostess, I chose the Miles Apart But Still in My Heart, so she wanted to send something to them that would fit her perfect too. So, and I think a lot of us, since I will be sending these cards that I'm making for Dawn's party out as a thank you, a lot of us are needing sentiments kind of like that too, because we're not seeing the same people that we are used to seeing, and family and friends and such too. So I love that for this. A nice big set, lots of sentiments and lots of other little pieces that you can put in there. And like I said, bundled with this punch too. Okay. So what I chose to ink up is this fun little kind of greenery sprig, and I'm going to do Smoky Slate on Smoky Slate, and I sure could have used Versamark. That would have given it kind of a subtle background, but I am doing kind of a darker background, although it does just kind of blend well because it's color on color. I'm looking out my window here, and the winds just picked up horribly, and my dog took cover, so if I just cut off, it's because a tornado whipped through here. I knew it was supposed to maybe rain, but I didn't think we were supposed to get severe storms or anything, but it's getting pretty dark out there. Okay. I'll try and stay focused here. Okay, so that's what I have for my background there, and I'm leaving this solid area there just plain, because that's going to be all covered up with the next layers and such. So then ahead of time, I cut 5 1/4 by 3 of that In Color Designer Series paper stack in that misty moonlight color, and so I thought that way I'm just trimming off one little strip of that, and then because it's 6 by 6, if I'm doing 3 inches here, then I can make 2 cards pretty easily with very little waste. And then the next layer on top of that is 2.75, but still 5 1/4 of the Misty Moonlight. And what I'm going to do with that is take my Big Shot here, and I know many of you have asked what or how we can get the new cutting machine and such. That's not going to be going live tomorrow. There will be more details to follow soon, and they hope within the first half of the catalog that will be available. So I'm not going to really talk too much about that yet. Just know that it won't be available tomorrow or for the first month or two. But what I'm doing with my Big Shot is taking the greenery embossing folders, and it's a 2-pack here, and I'm just going to take, this one has just fun, if I hold it still you might be able to see it. Kind of feel like it's almost upside down. So some little greenery leaves. I feel like every time I move it, it looks upside down. And then this one I love because it's a nice folder, and so you can have that on the top and that on the bottom and such. And so I'm just going to take and put, when I put my piece of cardstock in there, I want to make sure it's kind of in the middle so it catches the most amount of the design both on the top and on the bottom there. So that just goes in the Big Shot regular platform, both cutting pads. It's not 3D or anything. And it gives a really nice, oh, thank you, Heather. It gives a really nice impression here. So this one really pops out. But to add a little bit more of an impression, I'm just going to take my Whisper White ink pad here and a Stampin' Sponge. See, there's a little fuzz. I'm just going to get that off right away. So I'm just going to ink that up. And then just, I don't want it to be like overwhelming. I want it to be kind of a subtle shading on there. And I want most of the ink to really end up on the leaves and where it's embossed. And if some of it gets in on the cardstock, that's okay too, because we're gonna put a sentiment over it. It's not gonna look goofy. And honestly, some of that kind of dries and actually gets softer and fades into the cardstock a little bit, just because I'm kind of barely wiping it on there, and we all know that ink fades, and that will just kind of take care of itself too. So doing that, then you can kind of see that. I just want it to be a subtle little swipe on there, but it really makes everything pop. Hi Robin, thanks for joining in. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do next is take, this is, I think approximately, yes, 3 1/4 or maybe just 1 hash mark on my trimmer less. So almost 3 1/4 by 3/4. And there again, I'm going to take one of the sentiments that Miles Apart, though still but still my heart. I'm going to ink that up with the white craft ink pad, and hopefully that is straight. Pretty good. And I'm just going to take that and get some white embossing powder, and you can see I just kind of drench it with white embossing powder, but that is because I want to make sure it really covers it well, and you can see that it really just excess goes in there, so it's not like I'm wasting anything. And these trays, Stampin' Up! Used to have the small one here and a bigger one, and I have mentioned to them that they should bring that back because they were popular, and we never know if Stampin' Up! Has a reason why they don't sell something anymore, or if it's the manufacturer that they were getting it from. Sometimes that's the problem too. So I'm just going to start up my heat gun, and then with my Take Your Pick tool, I'm just going to kind of hang on to it because this will get pretty hot. And that way, sometimes just the air, not that there's a lot of forced air, but sometimes it's just enough to send my piece of paper sailing. I don't know if you guys have had that happen where it just scoots right across your workspace. Okay, so it looks like my white is all popped up. Wonderful. So sometimes when I emboss, things stay just kind of sticky, tacky for a little bit. So I'm gonna set that aside while I grab my punch. And so I want what I just embossed to be in that bottom punch, and then the next layer up to matte is going to be from the top one. And so Some people have struggled, I didn't. Some people have struggled with how to get that in, but I liken it to, this generation wouldn't know, but like an old-fashioned time clock. I always say just push that in until it doesn't go back any farther. Some people have wanted to hold it this way so that they can see on the back side too how far it should go in before it bumps too. So I feel like I have better control if I can keep it in that track in front of me. And then I just punch down, and then I put it in the other side and punch down. And this is what is left for scraps. So those of you that are paper conscientious about what are we throwing away, it's not a lot of waste. And so there we have that and that. So the biggest tray there, or slide, is 1 inch, and so that's what this is. But of course you can make this as long as you want. So this was 4 inches to start with. And then this is definitely ready, so then I can just slide that in the bottom punch and in the middle of the 3 slots, and I can feel it hit that back end. So I'll just punch down, and then I'll do that same thing, just making sure that I'm staying in that track and not moving it, and I feel it bump, and then I just take that out. There again, very little waste, but you do have to kind of keep this in mind when you're cutting, depending on how much you want it to overlap and such. So I want this sentiment to be matted so that it's kind of off-centered, you know, about there, so I can do some wrapping of ribbon over here. So that's why it is going to look like that. Okay. So I think what I want to do next is adhere this embossed piece onto my designer paper here. Just going to go like that so I don't end up with any more of that white ink, because it's a craft ink, it's a little bit stickier. So I don't want to go over it with my fingers and get it on there. And then I'm just going to take my snail and tack that down so that I can put that on my card. And I'm going to offset that as well. Okay. And then I'm just going to do that same thing, putting it on the back side so I don't smear any of that white. And then next I'm going to take and just do one little swipe of my snail and put that down like so. Okay, Dawn, if you guys know me at all, Dawn must be pretty special because I'm gonna tie a bow now. So early in the catalog, one of the first few pages, there is flowers for every season ribbon pack. So you get some pretty white, that's about 3/4, or is it 5/8, and then that new Just Jade color in gingham. And I'm going to use, it's kind of a pretty misty moonlight with white, but then it's also got some silver that makes it shiny in there. So this is a 3-pack that you buy just like that. So I'm either putting it too close where it's not focusing well, or not close enough. But this stuff is so pretty. There again, if you love blue like I love blue, then that'll be perfect. So I'm going to attempt not only tying a bow, I did it obviously for the sample card, but in front of all of you too. So I'm gonna wrap this around there a couple times, and hopefully I have enough. I think part of it is I have really big fingers and hands, so I think maybe that's why tying bows and I just aren't the best of friends. So then I'm just going to loop that through. Try once, try again. And I always, whether I'm tying a knot, I always leave my ribbon attached to the spool, so I know on that end I've always got plenty of give. And I always make my loops really big, because then I can always downsize those and then get them to pull super tight and nice. Okay, I do like how that turned out. So I'm going to take my ribbon cutting scissors and just cut off a little bit there and a little bit there, and then hopefully that will just kind of hug the sentiment like so. And then another trick that I use is I'm going to pop this up with my dimensionals. So as I grab a dimensional, I want to make sure that dimensional is between the edge and the ribbon so that can't slip off. This way it'll stay kind of put on there. So I'm gonna put one on each end, and then I think a couple in the middle too. So I thought the embossing kind of just really made things pop because it is kind of more of a subtle card. Like I said, it kind of is that country rustic look. I just want to put this across the middle, and hopefully it's straight, not crooked. Like so. Okay, yesterday I did my card and I wanted to add some of these fun enamel shapes and such. And so if you watch the card that I made yesterday, I can grab it here. I forgot during my Facebook Live to add these fun little enamel dots. And so I thought, oh, that really adds a lot. So it's on the still picture on this Facebook page. It just didn't make it into my live, but I used these enamel dots, which I love, and so many of you love them too. It's the 5 in colors, and you get 20 of each color. And of course, I use them in 3s because odd numbers are always more attractive looking to do it that way. But this Misty Moonlight color I'm gonna pull off here, I thought, I can't forget to put that on. And then as I was noticing when I was putting on my card, it's that nice Misty Moonlight color, but to give it a nice shimmer shine look, it's almost like they've added a white undertone, which ties in perfectly with this craft white pad here and just this white there. And so it just kind of ties in with all that extra designer series paper too. And I like how that worked together better than what I was anticipating too. It's those little things sometimes that just thrill me. So yes, and so I hope that this is something different. I've tried to make the cards all kind of different with different colors and different themes and such too, so that you could get some different ideas with that too. Hi Margaret, hi Jackie. So let me flip my camera around again. Okay, so okay, there we go. So like I said, tomorrow is the big day of the catalog starting. So thanks, Julie. Yeah, I love that color of blue too. Whoops, I have on shoes today, so I feel like I need this to be a little bit higher or something. Ugh, there we go. Maybe I'll just back up. Okay, so like I said, transition is the blue catalog that you have had for the past year. That ends today at midnight. That's the last time you can order it. And then starting tomorrow, like I said, our time around 11 o'clock here Central Time, you can start ordering from this. But I also want to get a post together so that if you're interested in starting a party to get in on those extra host rewards, that people can know your code and such. So just know that I'm going to do most of the work. We have to social distance. Nobody can even come in your home. So it's a perfect time to host and get some extra rewards. And I know that there's a lot of people that are anxious to order, and just knowing that their reward will be some hand stamped cards and such, that makes it fun for them too. So so that kind of wraps up Dawn's virtual crafting session, part of her party. But her host code will stay active till the middle of June, and I wanted to be sure to do that. And also for Linda, her virtual crafting session will start tomorrow for the next 3 days, and she wants to close hers up in the middle of June too. There's a lot of demand for some of the products already, and so if for some reason something sells out, or if there's a little bit of a wait, holding it open for a little bit longer might allow some people to order things later on that they aren't right away able to order and such too. So in my monthly newsletter or email that I sent out yesterday, I kind of had a long list of things that potentially could sell out and that too. So keep that in mind, and there's lots of reasons to why things sell out. I kind of compared it to how we all go to the grocery store now, and you write your list, things you need, things you want, and then you get to the store and go, maybe I'm not going to be able to get that right now. And it's just kind of the way things are. And so some of our products do come from China, so things take a little bit longer to come. And even one of the interesting facts is that the re-inker bottles that we're used to seeing, the new ink colors, we can all only order just one of the re-inker bottles at a time now for a little bit, and usually you don't need more than one because they last a very long time. But the reason why they're limiting that is because there's such a shortage on those bottles, because the company that makes those bottles, I'm going off on a tangent here, but I thought this was really interesting. The company that makes those bottles has kind of sidetracked its business and is helping make PPE accessories and things that are needed too. So it does all impact in such different ways. I thought that was really interesting and wanted to remember to share that with you too. So if you have any questions, please let me know how I can help. And what I'm going to do next is upload this card with a whole list of the accessories, cardstock colors, ink colors, everything that I use to make it, as well as Dawn's host code. So her and I would appreciate if you have any questions about anything, let us know. And otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow afternoon sometime. I'm never sure of a time because around here things change often, and so it usually will be in the afternoon though.